You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Council of Ministers directs to make field visit to inspect conditions of the citizens affected by the tropical condition the Sultanate exposed to recently. Council of Ministers directs to put systems to measure quality level of government services and approves national system to manage emergency circumstances. The Oman Housing Bank decides to raise its capital to 100 million Omani Riyals to fulfill the increasing requirements of citizens. And the Minister of Health confirms that the health condition of the Omani citizens who contracted coronavirus in Thailand has improved. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Within the context of attention given by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos to sustain growth rates continuity in the country, as well as the life aspects of citizens and continuation of efforts exerted in these aspects, the Council of Ministers issued a statement on the most important topics that have been discussed until the mid of the current month that contribute in achieving those directives. Here is a report.
The Council of Ministers reviewed in its sessions ways of developing the state's administrative systems to keep pace with the requirements of the current stage and acquainted with related studies forwarded to it from the Council of Oman and the State Audit Institution. The Council directed to set up a system to measure the quality level of government services and to form internal committees to facilitate procedures of rendering its services and create mechanisms to overcome challenges facing them, as well as to speed up the transformation of e-government. Within the framework of efforts exerted to support the diversification policy of income sources and to take advantage of the geographic location and the infrastructure of the Sultanate, the Council approved that the authorities concerned shall continue work to benefit from what could be achieved from the logistic services of high added value in the sectors of transport, shipment, ports, internal and external marketing. Therefore, the Prime Council of Planning has been assigned to review mechanisms and programs of the national strategy for the logistics sector forwarded to the Council of Ministers within the context of the future vision of Omani economy. In activation of the role played by developmental areas in diversifying the national economy and to achieve sustainable development rates, a visual presentation was delivered by the Special Economic Zone Authority at Duqm on the exerted efforts and accomplishments and challenges. Thus, the Council recommended to accelerate finding suitable solutions to overcome such challenges and urged the authorities concerned to expedite the completion of the rest of the main projects at Duqm, stressing on the importance of the field visits of those projects in all areas of the Sultanate by members of the Council of Ministers, besides specialists in the government, to follow up the work process and solve out any occurring obstacles. The Council studied reports of each of the National Records and Archives Authority, the Public Authority for Radio and Television, the Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development, and Future Works Program of the Authority for Electricity Regulation. Regarding developments witnessed by the electricity and water sector of some technical challenges that disrupt the continuity of providing its services as required, the Council followed this issue with keenness. A visual presentation was displayed by the Public Authority for Electricity and Water in front of the Council on the technical and procedural aspects related to this sector, in which it illustrated reasons of delay of some projects associated with water provision and procedures to be taken in addition to create solutions and plans to keep up with the increasing demand on water in the future. Due to the importance of the raw materials in the construction process and in advancing urban development, the Council directed the Public Authority of Mining to form a regulatory and auditing criteria and to deal with issues related to the crushers and urged the authorities concerned to take the necessary steps to provide the local market's needs with cement. In terms of the tropical condition and depression that affected the Sultanate, the Council reviewed the exerted efforts to return things to normal and directed a number of ministers to make field visits to check the situation of affected citizens and help rendering services to them and to eliminate any obstacles in these aspects. The Council thanked the National Committee for Civil Defense, Royal Oman Police, Sultan's Armed Forces, Security and Civil Apparatus, the Public Authority for Radio and Television, and all media means, as well as public associations and the private sector, on the solidarity and cooperation they gave, which had a good impact on giving moral support to citizens in the affected areas. The Council of Ministers directed the bodies concerned to prevent construction of buildings in the Wadi tracts and the random filling that hinders the discharge of Wadi water, and take that into consideration in future urban schemes. Within the framework of the Sultanate's cooperation with regional and international organizations, the Council of Ministers approved the joining of the Public Authority for Stores and Food Reserve to the membership of the International Grain Council, the Ministry of Education to the membership of the Board of Directors of the Regional Center for Adult Education, the Scientific Research Council to the membership of the Forum of Science and Technology in Society. The Council also endorsed the joining of the Cultural Club to UNESCO clubs and to establish a club of UNESCO for Scouts and Guides affiliated to the Ministry of Education. And on the occasion of the holy month of Ramadan, the Council of Ministers is honored to forward its sincere greetings to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, praying to Allah the Almighty to return this occasion and its similars to him with health and long life, and to Oman and its loyal citizens with continuous progress and prosperity, and to the Islamic nation with good omen and blessings.
Viewing results of a study prepared to develop taxation system in the Sultanate and discussions of amending some taxation policies to go along with global best practices, top discussions of the Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council in its today's meeting. The Council also discussed the final communique of the International Monetary Fund, which contained latest economic developments being witnessed by the Sultanate. It also reviewed ways of raising up efficiency of the energy sector and its management, and studies a number of proposals related to strengthening financial revenues. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Darwish bin Ismail al-Balushi, Minister responsible for Financial Affairs and Deputy Chairman of Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council. The Oman Housing Bank decided to raise its capital from 30 million to 100 million Omani Rials to meet increasing demand on the housing loans and to fulfill increasing requirements of the citizens. The bank clarified that the decision will enable it to increase its financial resources and to fulfill requirements of housing loan plans. It mentioned that so far it contributed in providing more than 38,000 housing units worth around 815 million Omani Rials all over the Sultanate. The decision was taken during the meeting of the Extraordinary General Assembly meeting of Oman Housing Bank. His Excellency Darwish bin Ismail al-Balushi, Minister responsible for Financial Affairs and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the bank. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. The car sharing scheme is proving very popular in Germany. Welcome back to the Sultanate of Oman television. The Minister of Health confirmed that the health condition of the Omani citizens who contracted coronavirus in Thailand has improved. The ministry mentioned that it follows up the case details and in contact with the patient and those who accompanied him and came to know that they are in a good health and now became under health observation for the decided period of 2 weeks. The ministry said that all people who mingled or mixed with him from his relatives in the Sultanate are in good health and also under health observation procedures. The Minister of Health confirmed that the disease is not spreading in the Sultanate, mentioning that there are only 6 cases since discovering the first case in October 2013. Kharif season astronomically starts today in the Governorate of Dhofar, and it is considered a touristic season that attracts tourists from inside and outside the Sultanate. The low decrease in temperature drizzle and the spread of fog in mountains are the signs of the start of the Kharif season. More than 431,000 tourists visited the Governorate of Dhofar last year, and the number is expected to increase during this season. It is worth mentioning that the Kharif season starts from June 21st and will end on 21st of September. The Central Bank of Oman revealed that the overall financial status of the Sultanate was comfortable last year, mentioning that bearing tests indicated that there are no problems might happen to the banking sector in the Sultanate, in spite of the continuous decrease of oil prices that expose financial sector to pressure. The precondition of economic growth is possible through general investments and non-oil activities. According to the International Monetary Fund, there was a decrease in the gross domestic product of the Sultanate in 2014, but the indicators are positive due to the increase in domestic product by 4.62% in 2015. On the holy month of Ramadan, Omani Lawyers Association organized a legal fair in the Governorate of North Al-Batina. On the sidelines of this event, the association set more than 340 prisoners free by paying their debt. These prisoners were convicted of financial cases. The aim of organizing this fair is to involve society in volunteer work. It was held under the patronage of His Excellency Dr. Abdul Mun'im bin Mansour Al-Hsani, Minister of Information. With the aim of representing the Sultanate at the international competitions, a number of Omani youth continues training in the profession of blacksmith in Vocational Training Institute in the Wilaya of Saham in the Governorate of North Al-Batina. More than 150 trainees approach the institute to get training in the field of electricity, mechanics and carpentry. The trainees also join workshop which lasts from 1 week to a month. After completing the training, the trainees join the labor market, while others open their own workshops. In Germany, pioneered in Switzerland in the 1970s, car sharing is booming in Germany, where more than 1 million people have signed up to schemes to avoid the cost and hassle of owning their own vehicle in big cities. Here is a report.
It's 10 in the morning and Baptiste is heading home from work in Berlin in a car that isn't his own. Like more than 1 million people in Germany, he's a member of a car-sharing scheme, giving him the convenience of a car without the financial burden of owning one.
It's the practicality of it, the fact that you can have a car easily. If I have shopping to do or if a few people have to go somewhere, it's more economical than taking a taxi. And then with the app, it's easy to find a car just a few minutes from where you are.
Car sharing was pioneered in Switzerland in the 1970s and has since proved particularly popular in Germany. As many as 140 operators in the country have a total pool of more than 15,000 cars. Among them is Drive Now, which launched in 2011.
Now, Drive Now is doing really well. People are using it often because the traffic flow is suited to it and because not many people own cars.
Urban planners hope car sharing will help cut greenhouse gases and pollution and eventually make urban spaces better places to live.
Es wird dann interessant, wenn Carsharing
It will be interesting when the system reduces the number of privately owned cars.
auch im öffentlichen Raum mehr Platz ist, weil wenn wir weniger Autos, private
So then there will be more space in public areas because of fewer cars in the streets. We'd have more space for other activities, like the bike, electric vehicles or more greenery. That would really help.
Dann hilft es wirklich was.
Other European countries have been slower to catch on. France and Britain have only around 200,000 car share users each. Meanwhile, Germany is racing ahead. With its already large and established network, industry figures suggest car sharers will double to 2 million in the next 5 years.
And now for the general weather forecast. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas and the nearby mountains of the Governorate of Dhofar, with chances of intermittent drizzles. The rest of the Sultanate will have clear to partly cloudy skies, with chances of scattered rainfalls towards the evening over the Hajar Mountains and the nearby areas. Winds will be northeasterly to easterly light to moderate along the coast of Sea of Oman, while it will be northwesterly light to moderate, occasionally active along the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coasts of Arabian Sea will be rough with a maximum wave height of 5 meters, and rest of the coast it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. It's the Sultanate of Oman television that you're watching. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Council of Ministers directs to make field visits to inspect conditions of the citizens affected by the tropical condition the Sultanate exposed to recently. Council of Ministers directs to put system to measure quality level of government services and approves national system to manage emergency circumstances. The Oman Housing Bank decides to raise its capital to 100 million Omani rials to fulfill the increasing requirements of citizens. And the Ministry of Health confirms that the health condition of the Omani citizens who contracted coronavirus in Thailand has improved. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.